So once again, good evening, everyone. I apologize. I'm on the road, so it might get a bit noisy. Trying home, but it's still noisy. I hope everyone is doing well. We can unmute to at least do our greetings. Everyone is doing well. Hope you had a nice day. Hi.
Hello.
Okay. Good evening, Ma.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing so well. How are you doing, Ma? Good to have you.
Very well, thank you.
Yeah. So yes, we have our guest speakers in already, and since we don't want to waste any more time, we'll just start. Good evening. How are you doing, Ma? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can everyone hear me?
You.
Hello, can everyone hear me? Okay. So we'll be going straight into today's conversation. Thanks to everyone for joining in. Would have Mrs. Obadino speak first today because we would love to listen to our own perspective first before Mommy comes up, because it will be good for us to hear our perspective before Mommy jumps in on it. So we'll just go straight into listening to her. She's going to talk from the perspective of a daughter-in-law, and she's going to talk about things she's had to go through and how she walked her way through it to the point where she is right now. And she's going to leave our conversation open because it's quite possible she's still going to talk. So she's going to leave our conversation open for Mommy to pick it up from there. So Mommy will be able to talk from our own perspective, from what she has talked about. So it's easier for Mommy to tailor our conversation and our discussion to what she, talked about. So without wasting time, we would ask Mrs. Obadino to take the stage now. She's speaking from the United Kingdom. She's a mother, she's a wife, she's a mother of 3 beautiful kids. She's everything we want to hear, So right about now, she'll be coming on. Yeah. So over to you, Mrs. Obadino. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Sister Debbie. God bless you. Good evening, everyone. Hello. Okay, everybody is muted. Well, I believe you are all listening. Good evening. Welcome on today's program. I just hope that at the end of today, we go away with maybe 1 or 2 points that will help us, in our journeys, because we're in a journey, According to the title
Everyone
of the talk, can you all hear me?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. We're going to talk about the dynamic of relationship with in-laws. I mean, first of all, I like to say that we are all in-laws. So be it from the wife's side or be it from the husband's side, we are all, at one stage of our lives, we are all in-laws. So I'm not going to focus mainly on the side of the husband, but I'm going to talk generally, about me as a sister-in-law, I have a brother that is married, or brothers that are married, and I'm going to talk as a wife as well, that is married into another family, my experiences, till date. All I can, in summing everything, even before I go into few details, it's all about how we interact with one another. It's all about how we perceive, what this relationship should be like. We all have different definitions of how in-laws should relate, how people should relate, but when it comes to in-laws, relationship with in-laws, I think we need to be open-minded in the sense that we just have to be ready and be willing to accept or receive what is coming.
Then you're supposed to arrange it. Yeah? You're supposed to arrange.
Mrs. Abanino, can you kindly unmute, please? We can't hear you.
Sorry. I didn't know. Yeah. Apologies.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. We're talking about the dynamic relationship of with in-laws. Who are the in-laws? We are all in-laws. Everybody on this platform is an in-law. Whether you are a daughter-in-law, a sister-in-law, a mother-in-law, we are all in-laws. And when we're talking about dynamics, we are talking about the differences, in terms of the reactions, in terms of the languages, in terms of, how we relate to one another. And I'm going to talk generally, not just from the perspective of a wife, but even from the perspective of a husband as well, because I'm a sister-in-law to somebody as well. As much as I'm a daughter-in-law to a family, I'm a sister-in-law to somebody as well. I believe that we all got ourselves into this. I would say it's like a mess we are all in at the moment when it comes to relationship with the in-laws. It's like for us as women, as wives, we found ourselves in a situation whereby for me personally, it's like, you tend to kind of get to a point that you've lost your identity. If you are not careful, you've lost identity, you've lost your voice, you've lost your person, who you are, simply because you are married. And speaking from other people's experiences as well, it's kind of similar. But I just don't want to dwell on the fact that, that stereotype that in-laws are bad, or particularly mothers-in-law, that they are wicked, they are nasty, they are bitch. I don't want to dwell on that, because I'm a sister-in-law and my mother is a mother-in-law as well. And I can't just generalize everybody to being that bad mother-in-law, bad sister-in-law, bad brother-in-law. But personally, I've had some experiences that if God has not helped me, I will at this stage just generalize and say, you know what, forget about it. In-laws are not good. All of them, they are all the same. But I'm not going to generalize, because that's kind of forming a stereotype. What is causing these issues with in-laws? I've done some readings and I've done some digging even into the Bible, because I'm a Christian. Apologies to other faith on this platform. It's in the Bible as well. It's one of the end time prophecies, negative prophecies, that mothers-in-law and the daughters-in-law, like, they will be enemies. And the same thing goes to parents, that they will become enemies to their children and things like that. But that kind of gave me a bit of comfort that, it's not something that just started now for Bible to have recorded it. I don't know what is written in other books. But even talking about other people's experiences, this issue of in-laws did not just start in this generation. It's something that we kind of inherited. And if care is not taken, we form that kind of belief system that we just have to put up with everything that is happening. Don't talk about it, because you won't go far with it. But I'm here tonight to say that I think I've moved away from that. As a daughter-in-law, I've gone through a lot of scenarios. Let me just give different scenarios whereby, this is not someone speaking behind me, it's face to face. I don't even know why my son married you. When somebody says that to you, how would you feel? My understanding and conclusion with that kind of statement is that that person is actually tampering with your self-esteem. That person is tampering with your person. And if you allow that person to succeed, then you start feeling low, you start looking down on yourself, and other things will follow. But how I dealt with that particular statement, I was like, well, it does not matter, it's too late now. What can you do about it? I just trivialized that statement. And I think using that style for me has worked in different ways. When the in-laws, when they come with their issues, at times, they just want to lord things over you. They want their opinion to count in every discussion. Whether they were invited into that discussion or not, it does not matter. But they just wanted to be the voice in that marriage. That is one common thing I've noticed. Even some people are doing it from a good heart. Not all those suggestions, not all those contributions are negative. But because of lack of understanding, you don't know this woman very well. The woman, the so-called wife, she doesn't know this mother-in-law very well. She doesn't know this brother-in-law very well. She doesn't understand this father-in-law because she's new in that family. And I think one common thing is that we don't give ourselves enough time to understand one another. And it's similar to every kind of relationship that we all have. We have friends that we met at this function and we just got along and we just assumed, we clicked and that's it. And I think it's the same carelessness that we brought into marriage situation, setting, whereby we just see that lady, when she came, I love that girl. She's this, she's that. That's his mother-in-law, speaking about the wife, the daughter-in-law. Oh, she's really good. She's got good manners. She's from good home. Why would you conclude just like that at one meeting or two meetings? And the same thing for the woman as well. Oh, you met your mother-in-law today. Oh, wow, she's so good. Oh, I think I'm lucky, I'm privileged, and something like that. But once we get into that marriage ceremony and everything, we kind of blind our eyes. We don't take time to understudy one another. We just take, they've come here, they've come, welcome. We need to spend time, study our mother-in-law, study our brother-in-law, study our sister-in-law, study the father-in-law, study the uncles and everybody in the relationship. Likewise, I would say men as well. I'm not sure if we have a man on this platform. They need to do the same as well. And the mother-in-law that is receiving the new lady, the new girl into the family, she needs to understand that woman, that who is she? What are her likes and dislikes? But when we don't understand one another, that's when we step on each other's toes. And another thing is that I've come to understand from my own experience is there is that conflict of interest. And at the end of the day, I will say, okay, whose interest are we protecting here? Is it my interest? Is it the interest of the son? Am I protecting the interest of my husband? Is the mother protecting the interest of his son? There seems to be that conflict, and everybody wants to be the winner, and hence the tussle. And at times, it's not even the mother-in-law that will cause any trouble for you. It may be the sister-in-law. It may be the younger sister. It may be the elder sister. It may be the brother. And it may be the father. And this is not just talking about the husband's side. It can happen from the woman's side as well. Because I have some friends that when they talk about their ordeal, I'm talking about male colleagues and things like that, what their in-laws are doing to them, how they are feeling. It's the same way we women are feeling as well. And I think the society, we kind of push the men aside. We don't think about their feelings. We think, they are men, they are macho, they've got this energy, they've got this power, they can defend themselves. But I think we need to think beyond that the way we women are feeling, men are equally feeling the same. Because they too, they are getting that kind of treatment from their mothers-in-law, from their parents-in-law, from their sisters-in-law, brothers-in-law. People barge into them. They don't give them their space. They don't respect their privacy. And the same thing with the woman as well. Every adult, by the time you get to that stage of maturity already formed, you want your space. You have a way of doing certain things. And when somebody else now come and try to dictate to you, Because when, there's a difference between dictating and lording things over you and someone trying to reason and, influence your decision. When that person tries to influence your decision in a positive way, you are more likely to accept and receive it. But when it's a case of, oh no, this is how I've been cooking this soup for my son, and this is how I want you to be cooking this soup, then you feel like, excuse me, this is my territory, this is my home, this is my family. You need to back off. And I think it's that is causing the problem. We don't know how to set boundaries. Even with the daughters-in-law, the sister-in-law, we don't know how to set boundaries for ourselves. We don't know how to put that, that barrier. This is how far you can go before any trouble, erupts. We don't make that clear demarcation known to people. We welcome the, oh, it's my mother-in-law, she has every right. Yes, she has rights to come in as much as you have rights to her home as well. But this is your territory. You have your own rules that are guiding, your environment. You have your own limitations. You have your weaknesses. You have your strengths. How much of that do you want somebody else to come and explore? We don't make that known. We just put up with everything from the beginning. And it now get to a point whereby you want to put a stop to it, then it may be too late. And that is when the conflict starts. But I think from my own experience, my mother-in-law, she's someone that is very outspoken. She will say it and she will say, yeah, it's nothing you can do. This is who I am. And initially, I was taking things, personally, that, oh, why is she picking on me? Why is she this? But it got to a point that I just understudied her, that even when she's talking to her son, it's as if you are talking down on your own child and not just my own husband. And from that point, I was like, okay, I think I know how to deal with this mommy. And when she comes with her stories and her things, I just trivialize it. I won't ignore her, because if I ignore completely, that means I'm disrespecting her. But I just trivialize it. At times, I just make jokes out of whatever she's saying. I won't let her know that what she said really hurts me, because she delights in seeing you being hurt. So I would just trivialize and make a joke, make fun of whatever she said, and I move on with it. I mean, she's done some things. I mean, people have done some things, and I now think about it that, okay, if somebody did this to me outside, I'm able to let go and walk away. Why can't I just do the same with this woman that is with me? She doesn't live with us. She comes once in a while. But what if she's living with me? How will I manage her? I think that is another thing I started thinking about. How will I manage her? Okay, for example, if she's displaced and my home is the only place where she can find solace, where she can live, and she's behaving in this manner, how will I deal with her? I think it's from that point that I developed that thick skin and have my own device mechanism that I use in coping with her. And talking about the other side of the family, the sisters, the brothers as well, they too, they have their own parts to play. I am in a family whereby they want to know what is happening. This is what they said, oh, I want to know what is happening, because we help them to manage their this. And I say, I'm sorry, I'm an adult and I came to marriage as an adult. That side of my life, you cannot manage it for me. So when I started speaking for myself, then everybody were, oh, I think this one, she's not going to take this from us. And they kind of backed down. Everybody understood their boundaries. They know where they belong. But that is just one aspect. The other aspect is, even my husband, our whole so-called husbands, our men, how are they handling this situation to help us to be able to manage our in-laws? How are we helping our husbands as well to manage the trouble from our own side when the trouble comes from our own side? How do we help? I think we need a lot of wisdom, a lot of forgiveness, a lot of loving. Because when we love these people, because remember, we are in-laws somewhere else. When we love them and we show them that, you know what, we love you. Because if you don't love them, you are injuring the one that you've married. Because that person, that man, that woman will never be happy. If there is every time and again conflict, friction here and there. People will think of living in this part of the world, oh, you are free from the problem of in-laws and whatever. No, that's a misconception. Whether they live under the same roof with you or they are far off, It's still the same. It's still the same coping mechanism. It's still the same tantrum. It's still the same conflict that you'll be experiencing, because they will call you on the phone and they will say things that will aggravate and make you upset, make you feel low. How do you deal with it? How do you deal with it? So I think we need a lot of wisdom. We need a lot of patience. We need a lot of endurance, that we should not be quick to generalize. We should not be quick to form this impression that, oh, these in-laws, they are bad, they are this, they are that. But at the same time, we should be wise. Not even the Bible says we should be as wise as the serpent and as gentle as the dove. So we need to be calculative, because every human being, they've got their own personality. They want things to be in their own favor. Likewise, you have a lot at stake. You have your marriage to protect. You have your children to protect. You are the voice for your children in that marriage. And if you don't stand up for yourself, it's a matter of time they will step on your own children too. You need to protect their inheritance as well. So from the perspective of a wife, a daughter-in-law, my message this evening is that, yes, we have to love our in-laws, our parents-in-law, brothers-in-law, sisters, and all of them. We have to love them. We have to appreciate them. We have to respect them. But at the same time, we need to protect ourselves, protect our interest. When we see that this is danger that is coming, this is trouble that is coming, we need to quickly think of how to deal with it before it gets too close. Are these people, do you have a pattern that whenever they come around, there is trouble between you and your husband, then they need to be away from you? Not that they cannot come, but you need to minimize your interaction. You need to minimize the interaction. If it's when you go to them that there is always trouble when you return home, then reduce your going to them. And if it's when they come that there is so much trouble during their time with you, or after they've left, that is when trouble starts, then reduce their coming to you. They will not like it, because they are used to coming to your house every now and again. They are used to badging on you. But that is when you and your partner, you need to sit and have that conversation. It's not going to be smooth. Let me correct you. It's not going to be smooth. It's not going to really fall into that good ears that you think it will fall into. But you need to stand your ground, not because of now, but because of the future. We have different levels of strength. I may be strong. I may be able to put up, manage, cope. Another person may not be able to do that. So you need to decide what is going to work for your family. If they're coming to you will cause trouble, then have that conversation. I think we need to keep it far. And I think another thing, we have to be consistent. If when your family, as the daughter-in-law now, when my mother, my father, my brother, my sister, when they are coming around, how do I treat them? Do I treat them higher or better than when my husband's family come around? If that is happening, then you are opening yourself for trouble. If you treat everybody equally, I think you stand a better chance, because your husband can see things, he's watching. Likewise, you are watching as well. That it's not as if I'm giving any side a preferential treatment. It's the same rule, because my own sister, my own brother, my mother can actually come and ruin my family as well. So if when they come around, there's always issues between me and my husband, then they too, they need to keep off. But when we start using different standards, then the trouble will really escalate. And when it's like that, how do we deal with it? It's by retracting and just, you know what, okay, we apply this style, and this is what has happened. Let's think of another way of handling this situation. Because there will always be conflicts. There will always be stepping on each other's toes. There will always be a lot of backbiting, a lot of bickering in the family. But I would say, do a lot of listening and speak less. If you do a lot of listening, you will pick words. You will pick on what is actually making them behave towards you like that. Is it lack of esteem? Is it fear of, oh, these ones, they are just too close? Because these are the things I've experienced. They are just too closely knitted. Yeah. And why should that be a problem when you are too close to your husband? You can't be too close to your husband. You have to be close. You have to be close. You two have to be one. Why should that be a problem? That shouldn't be any problem, because that is what everybody should be praying for. So you need to reach and think, okay, what is causing this problem? What is it that they always talk about? What is it that is causing this friction between us? Is it that I don't understand them? I'm not patient enough? Or is it that they are the ones that are not patient with me? They don't understand me. I like to do my things in certain ways, but they want it to be done in their own way. For example, I made a particular meal one day. I made rice and plantain. And the feedback I got from that was that, oh, the rice was too hard. It needed to be a bit tender. And I said, I apologize, I said, sorry. The same week, I made beans. And I got a feedback that, oh, this beans is too soft. And I was saying, excuse me, what is going on here? Rice, not tender enough, beans, too tough. And I called my husband, I said, I think you need to come and show me how you make beans and rice in your home, in your family, because this is how I grew up making beans. And I've received this feedback that this is too soft, too tender. And the same person that complained was the one that complained the last time when I made rice, and they said the rice is a bit too tough. So I think this person is someone that is impossible to please. And from there, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to please this particular individual. It's what works for the family. If I'm making the meal, I want to make meal for everybody. If I make meal for 10 people and let people say, oh, thank you, I'm okay. If one person or two people are saying, you know what, it's this and I care less. And that has stood with me up till today. I'll do what is right, what is equitable. But if I think that you are overbearing, I just leave you, I ignore you. I won't let you spoil my day. I won't allow you spoil my mood or create a toxic environment in the family. Because some people, you cannot please them. We need to understand that. It's not the fault of that mama or that baba or that auntie or sister. It's not their fault. Some, they are not happy, and you can only give what you have. If someone is not happy in their own home, they want to take it out on somebody else. It's either they want to get that happiness from somewhere or in a negative way. So they may see your own home as a target, because when they come around you or your husband, you're always, oh, love in Tokyo, you are this and that. And because they are not happy, they are jealous. And they will do things, instead of them to learn, they want to do things that will cause friction between you. But one thing is, if you truly love, you'll be able to manage these people. If you love your husband, you will manage his family. If you love your wife, you will manage her family. Because we are not from the same background. What obtains in my family, where I came from, does not obtain in the family that I married into. So we are different individuals and we are different families. And if we married into another, maybe ethnic background, it's another level on its own. If you marry into another nation, it's another level on its own. So at every stage, there will be friction, there will be misunderstanding, there will be, maybe competition, because that is another thing that is causing problem. There is competition between the wife and the mother-in-law. There is competition between the wife and the sister-in-law, or vice versa. So what is causing that competition? Nobody can really place their fingers on it. But there can be competitions, unhealthy competitions going on around the family. And how do we resolve it? It's just being who you are. Be yourself. Don't think you want to please everybody. You are number one in that marriage, in that relationship. Then your husband, your children. Every other person is third party. I always say it. Even my own mother, she's a third party in my marriage, because the marriage covenant is between me and my husband. My family, immediate family, is me, my husband, and my children. My mother has other children as well. So she has a lot of interest to protect. So I'm not the only interest that she's protecting. Hence, she's a third party in my marriage. Likewise, my parents-in-law, my husband's side, they are third parties. But people find it difficult to admit that we are actually third parties in somebody else's marriage. We want to claim that right. Oh, it's my right, it's my child. And another thing I discovered recently is that mothers, we are fond of calling our children our husband. I think we need to stop it. Because from baby, that baby stage, that infant stage, we've been calling them husband. Indirectly, we are setting like a spiritual law in motion. And these children, particularly the boys, they grow up, oh, mommy, oh, my son, Okomi. We keep on saying that till they get married. And when they get married, because we are so used to calling them our husbands, they too, they begin to give us that right, that access, as if they are the husband, as if we are their wives. No, they are our sons, they are our children. Let us address them as our children. The place of a husband is different from the place of a child. But most mothers-in-law is like, peradventure their husband died very early, and they are the only person that looked after these children. They're so close, so closely knitted to these men that they don't want to let go of them. And the men too, they are so used to their mama that, oh, do you know what my mom has gone through? Do you know how much she suffered for me? Yes, she suffered. Yes, she's been through it. But now this is a marriage. The marriage is between you and this woman, not between you and the mother. So mothers, they need to let go of the hook. It's like you are giving a child, a toy, and you are still holding it back. Or you are giving someone like a dog, and you are still holding the tail of the dog. How far can the dog go? How far if you keep holding on to that tail? So it's like, we want my children my son to get married. I want him to settle down, to have grandchildren, whatever. But you are still holding on to them. Let them grow up as men. Let them take responsibility. Let them be in charge of their homes. And the same thing goes to us, all of us on this platform. Whether we are mothers-in-law now or it's a matter of time, our children, our daughters, our husbands, our sons, they will get married. We need to step back. We need to trust them that they can manage their families. We need to trust them that they can handle their wives, they can handle their husband without our interference. And to the sisters-in-law on the platform, the brothers-in-law, stay back. Don't put your nose in what you are not. Even when they call you into their business, tell them it's your business, God will help you. Don't contribute. And if you have to contribute, don't be one-sided. Be neutral among them. But that is another area. I mean, to God be the glory, my mother-in-law will say, oh, I hope there is no trouble, there is no quarrel. And I keep saying, why do you always ask if there is trouble? Are you praying for that? I've never gone to her that we have trouble today, we'll quarrel tomorrow. So why do you want to know? So even if you have problem, do you think I will bring the problem to you? No. Because you asking me, I hope there is no problem, shows that you will take side. So I won't bring my issues to you. And even when there are issues in the family, we have to be careful in bringing our families into, because my side is an in-law to my husband. My husband's side is an in-law to me as well, to my own side. If we start bringing them into our private issues, then we are opening ourselves to trouble. We are inviting trouble because they will know too much, and because they care for us. It's out of care most of the time. They want to do things to them that in their own eyes that they are protecting us. But we need to help ourselves so that the next generation will not go through the same pain that we are going through. The best change that can happen is from you, the individual. You to change. How do you relate to people? How do you treat your in-laws? How do you accommodate them? We have to look inwardly and change and retract our steps. Okay, what have I been doing to these people as well that is making them to behave to me in a nasty way? Am I being nasty towards them? Is it when they are coming and I quickly go and empty this and I present to them as if we don't have anything in the house? Because I've seen some women that have done that. Oh, my mother-in-law is coming. No, I'm going to give her this. But when your own mother is coming, you go all out to give her the best. You buy the best for her. I think we need to help our mothers-in-law. They are not our biological mothers, but because we've married their son, we need to look after them. We need to care for them. We need to seek after their good, the way we seek after the good of our own mother. Because the same way we have left our family, mind you, they too, that son is no longer the same. The relationship is no longer the same. Because if we look at it the way God wants us marriage to be, the man and the woman should live and cleave to one another. And when you cleave to one another, that means you've taken that new mother as your mother, that father as your father, likewise the husband as well. And if you're able to do that genuinely, there won't be any problem. Even if there is trouble, your conscience will bear you witness that you've done it well. You've done the right things. I think I need to stop here for mother to take over. Sister Debbie?
Wow, yeah. Thank you so much, Ma. Yeah. At this point, would ask Mommy to, before then, I want to thank Mommy so much for accepting to come on this conversation. You know, we really appreciate you, Ma. Thank you so much. We do not take the access for granted. At this point now, we would ask Mommy to from where Mrs. Abagino stopped. Thank you so much, Mommy. Mommy can, Mommy Shomo, if she can unmute a mic.
Hello.
Hello, Mommy. Good evening,
I
ma.
hope
Thank
you
you so
can
much,
hear
ma.
me. How
We
are
can
you?
hear
Thank
you,
you
ma.
so much.
Fine, thank you, ma.
Our
Thank you
darling
so much.
sister,
God
Kemi
bless you, ma, for
Obadino.
coming on this year.
Thank you very much. I think I will just, my sister has really, really simplified the job for me. So I will just continue from where she stopped. Can you hear me, please? Can
Yes,
you
ma'am.
hear me? Okay.
We can hear you, ma.
Okay. Now, I want to start by saying that marriage is meant for matured minds. So we are talking about mature people here. People who can reason, who can direct, who can discharge duties appropriately, and who can assimilate, which my sister has also analyzed. And how do I view things as a mother-in-law? It's a new role. It's a new role, taking the baton from the original or from the biological mother of somebody, and for you to take over that role as a mother. Now, there are certain things we seem to be missing out. By the time I share my one or two of my experiences, you will get what I'm saying. Number one, a wife or a bride, in most cases, whether the traditional marriages or the church or mosque, anywhere it is conducted, you see that some, in most cases, will hand over the new wife to the mother-in-law on behalf of all the family. In fact, at times they ask them questions. I don't know if you have experienced it before. In the name of God, in the presence of his congregation, we hand over former Miss X, now Mrs. Z, to you as a full member of your family. And then the question goes thus: will you promise on behalf of your family to uphold them in prayer and giving them your moral support? And before the whole congregation, the mother-in-law will say, I promise in the name of God. At times they call all the parents out, they say, we promise in the name of God. So we can't sidetrack them. Like my sister mentioned something like setting boundaries. But do you know there are some people you can't set boundary for them? My mother-in-law is one of them. She's not the type you can set boundary for, even when you are ready to set boundaries. So what faces one person backs the other. What am I saying in essence? We must be ready to accept one another. It's a new family. Fine, the husband and wife are the sole family here now. All others come one way or the other to be part of the family. It's a new family. I believe I don't know if we saw this on if you see it on the WhatsApp, where a man went on a journey, and as he came back, the mother, the sister, the wife, all rushed out to welcome him. And somebody now asked that question: whom should he hug first? If I ask us this question now, there will be different answers. No, it's the wife first. No, it's the sisters first. No, it's the mother first. But from my own perspective, the wife should not compete with them. The kind of hugging or hug he will give to the mother and the sisters is not the same with what he will give the wife. Hello, are we together? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So it's not the same. And that now moves me, I now move on to what should be the ideal relationship between a mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. And I wish to say here, like my sister said the other time, it's a matter of time. A daughter-in-law today will become a mother-in-law tomorrow. And a mother-in-law today was once a daughter-in-law. So it's what we go around. Both should see God first in that family. My mother-in-law was with us for over 30 years, and you know what that means. Even with my other in-laws, all we need to do, like she said, let's study ourselves. Let's understand what does she like. If I tell you now that my mother-in-law cooks, it's like, no, you should set boundary. She shouldn't have been cooking while you are in your kitchen. But you have to study your environment. You have to study the family you are married to. Your own situation may be different from mine. Mine may be different from another person. It took a long time after much persuasion from myself to know that, no, allow her. Initially, it was tough. That does not mean she doesn't eat what we eat. She does. But at the same time, she just wanted to cook. And we gave her that room. And there was peace. And that leads me to say that let us seek peace as much as possible. Let peace reign. What do we gain from having problems here and there with in-laws, with this? It is peace that we need. And then I want to tell our daughter-in-laws and mother-in-laws too, let us apply love and not law. When you talk about law, you tend to look for each other's wrongs. Yes, you did this. You didn't greet me. You didn't do this. You talked to me somehow. We tend to look for our faults, applying law. And that is where law comes in. Ask your mother-in-law, you should do this. Ask your daughter-in-law, you shouldn't do this. And so on and so forth. But if we apply law, we look out for views and expressions. How do you view this? Express yourself. Let it be in law. It's not easy, as I'm telling you, but God can be of help. God can be of help, and He's always there to help us. And the relationship should be cordial. You are not competing for anything, like I said. Even when you attend traditional marriage, they pay more attention to mother-in-laws as the wife comes. So open the wife or the face of your wife. Is she your wife? Is she the person you have paid for? So it's not an ordinary matter at all. And we should not take it with levity. But all that matters is love. Now, let me move on to my experience as a daughter-in-law that has really shaped my life. You know, like I said, my mother-in-law was with us for over 30 years. And in these years, you know, your guess is as good as mine. But at the end of the day, I thank God that we became friends. We became mother and daughter. It wasn't easy. For example, somebody came one day and told her a prophecy. I was not around. She was around. And the prophecy was so negative that she was afraid that I was going to kill my husband. If you hear that as a mother, you will surely be afraid. And though the whole thing was going on, I didn't know. But later, God revealed the whole thing. And it was discovered that that man just wanted to siphon money away from my husband. If it has not been handled carefully, it will scatter the home. That's why I said there are some people you can't set boundaries for them, but you need the wisdom of God. Another experience I want to share with us is that I'm married to a place where everyone you meet at home, you don't call them by name. And I have a brother-in-law, you know, and I know when I mentioned his name, immediately somebody called my attention to it. Omokoni and Peloruko. You don't call them by name. I said, oh, simple thing. And I gave them names. Some rejected it. No, Emma, don't give me nickname. Some, they accepted it. To those who accepted, I give them. To those who refuse it, I call them by their names. Seek for peace. Seek for what can make you at peace. Seek for what can make you happy. Your happiness matters. Your joy matters. It is when you are happy that your husband will have peace of mind. If you're at loggerhead with his mother, like my husband will always say, take her as your mother. Initially, it was tough. I said, no, my mother can't behave like that. No, my mother. But later, I saw that, after all, if it is my mother, what will I do? True. You understand? So let peace reign. Let peace reign. And many other experiences I would have loved to share, but I know we'll have our questions set for us. Now, 3 things kept me going and really changed and shaped me as a daughter-in-law then. Number 1 was a verse in the Bible, in Proverbs 16, verse 7. If your way pleases the Lord, it will make your enemies to be at peace with you. And these people are not my enemies. So that means I can, if I strive harder, I can still be at peace with them. Another person was my colleague. We all thought it was the mother, not until the woman died. And she said, no, the woman happened to be her mother-in-law. I said, wow, they were too close. They were too close. So I said, that means it's possible to have a good mother-in-law. So I tried to put in my best. And the 3rd person that kept me going and shaped my life is our darling, maybe great grandmother now, Ruth in the Bible. When I read Ruth, especially Ruth 1, verses 16 to 17, we all know the story, with permission and apology to others that are not of this faith. But I know the story is very simple and straightforward. She lost the husband, the mother-in-law she lost the husband, she lost the father-in-law, she lost the brother-in-law, and she still decided to follow the mother-in-law. And the mother-in-law said, no, please go, you are free. And she is free to go and remarry. But she said something that touched me. Entreat me not to leave you or to return from following after you. For anywhere you go, I will go. Where thou lodge, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God, my God. Where thou diest, will I die, and there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me and more also, if aught but death part thee and I. What else? What else? In fact, each time I go through those verses, I say, Lo baton, matter settled. That is love. She was no more applying law. She applied law. Let us love our mother-in-laws. They were once daughter-in-laws. And I want to appeal to mother-in-laws. You have gotten a grown baby. It's a newborn, grown baby added to the family. We are not competing with the man at the center. No competition. People tend to see it as we are competing. No. What the mother can do, the wife cannot do it. What the wife can do, the mother cannot do it. We all have our different roles, but don't let us neglect them. Don't let us neglect them. Now, if you have a difficult mother-in-law, what do? How do you relate with them? Like I said earlier, and my sister has also mentioned it, adjust to them. Come down to their level. Your culture matters. If what you are doing is not against God's will, go ahead and do it. It will give you peace. Like somebody said, if you want to marry anybody from Yoruba land, that the person should go and learn all the ekus, eku ijoko, eku idide, eku ijeun, eku imomi, eku ibere, which is true. A white lady joined a particular family, and I'm sure she has learned about kneeling down. The first thing she did when she saw the parents-in-law was to kneel down. And everyone around that vicinity said, Dibo, Oti Wole. Even if you have not voted, you have won. Let's look out for things that can bring peace. Let's look out for things that they love. Study her, not even only your mother-in-law. But because I'm restricted to mother-in-laws, I want to hammer more on that. Study her to know her likes and dislikes. Set out for peace as much as possible. Another thing is you should stretch hands of love and not law. This is my home. It's for me and my husband. We don't want any third party. Third party is different from third party. But because of time, we need to also be fast about it. Hold no grudge. Speak out with grace and humility where you feel hurt. Don't pretend, but be patient. I always tell people there's difference between patience and pretense. When you pretend, you harm yourself the more. But when you are patient, Yoruba adage says, tí ojú bá farabalẹ̀ á rí mú. When you set your eyes very well down, you will see your nose. If you don't see the whole nose, you will see the tip. So just be patient and don't be a lazy wife. Like my mother-in-law, she doesn't like a lazy person. And I thank God, I believe I'm not lazy. Let me put it that way. She doesn't like a lazy person. Spiritually now, to handle a difficult mother-in-law, ask for wisdom of God. What operates for Mrs. A may not be okay for you as Mrs. B. Be prayerful. Our parents were prayerful. I remember I was still in primary school when my grandmother used to pray for me that I will not marry my enemy as husband. Let's continue to pray. Be prayerful. Pray for her. Pray for your husband. Pray for the children. Be a friend of the word of God. How often do you read the word of God, irrespective of your religion? How often do you talk to God? How often do you allow God to speak to you, to respond to all the prayers you have prayed? The Lord will help us in Jesus' name. If all said and done, the mother-in-law is still difficult, like I said, hand over everything to God. And I wish to say here that, please, the journey is too short. The journey is just too short. Today, my mother-in-law is no more. So even if I'm ready to fight now, who do I fight? Or even if she's ready to fight now, where is she? So let's maintain peace. The journey is short. We will soon, disembark. We return back to our Creator. What will you say about your mother-in-law? What will you say about your daughter-in-law? I want to thank God for my daughter-in-laws. By the grace of God, I have about, I don't want to tell you the specific number. I have about 5 of them. And one day I just sat down and said, how do I connect these people spiritually? I set out a platform, I call it The Roots. And I told them the meaning. We must be praying for this family. The family we have joined must grow higher and higher. They must know it for good. And they agree with me. So both mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws, we have a lot to do. The life is so delicate to start rudimenting over what somebody has done wrongly. And she came in, like that sister said, out of 10, if one person is complaining or 2, you are okay. One day she will join the good train. So don't stretch yourself too much as to make sure you want to convert that one person to join the good ones. No, one day she will join them. If the rice is out today, you tend to do it well, and it's beans the next day. I'm sure the next day it may be yam. Then go ahead with those that are ready. Yoruba adage says, I'm sorry, I love Proverbs so much. Yoruba adage says, when a child lifts, it's a child that lifts up the arms that you carry. Ọmọ tí ó bá ṣípà òun la máa gbé. Ètò dúró tí ó ṣe nǹkan kan, you'll be looking at the child. The Lord will help us. Now, I'm giving us this case study. As you are writing your question, you can send your answer to our coordinator too, Sister Deborah. A woman who just lost the child in a terrible accident. And few days after, the mother-in-law picked quarrel with the daughter-in-law. And the son to the mother, who happened to be the husband to the wife, try to pacify the mother. No, don't do this now. You know what has just happened to her. Please. And the mother said, what is the big deal there? Shebi, me too. I've lost so many number of children. What is so special about it? If you are in that position, what will you do? On this note, I want to say thank you to my darling sister for this wonderful opportunity. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, Mommy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mommy. We really appreciate your inputs on this. Like I said earlier, I'm still in Lagos traffic. Bear with the noise. Right now, we'll be taking in, thank you, Mom. We'll be taking in questions. Please drop in your questions. Like I said, like I wrote in the chat box, if you don't want to send it openly, you can send it to me directly. And also, right now, we would give those who actually want to say something or ask their questions, actually they're speaking up, to raise their hands too as well. So, or you have a contribution to make, as we usually do allow after the guest speaker. Is there anyone who wants to ask a question, say something?
I'd like to, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I just want to appreciate God for Mommy's life. Thank you so much, Ma. More grace, more, God will increase your wisdom in Jesus' name. And
Amen.
I would like to say that I've picked even one or two things from what you've said.
Thank you.
And at the end of the day, you said it. And I think I share that belief as well, that everything boils down to love.
Yes.
When we love, it's going to be easy for us to forgive. No matter how hard the situation is, no matter how difficult it is, when we love them, we take them, okay, if it's my mother that has done this, what will I do? Because our mother can actually drive us as well.
Sure.
They can drive us. How will I deal with her? If it's my mother-in-law that is not even happy with my marriage, she doesn't like my husband, and she's the one that is throwing the tantrum, what will I do? Will I reject her? Will I condemn her? No. So I think that has kept me going in a lot of ways, even in other relationships. That, okay, what if it's somebody else? How will I deal with it? So if we love, you'll be able to forgive. You'll be able to move on and forget about the past. Because I think another thing that whether the mother-in-law or the daughter-in-law, we keep holding on to the past. Oh, the last time she came, this is what she did. Oh, the last time she came, and the mother-in-law too, we have something to hold on to from the past. But if we let go of the past, I like the area of Ruth that you mentioned. I really love that. Because if Naomi wasn't good, if she wasn't an example, a good example, Ruth would easily pack her bag and baggage and leave. But she saw something in that woman. And I pray today that I want to be like that woman, that Naomi. I want to be like that kind of mother-in-law. That God, I'm not praying that our son should die or our husband should just leave us, but that we will have so much love, so much bond with our daughters-in-law that they will say, no, this family, in fact, they won't even be able to differentiate between you, the mother-in-law, and her real biological mother.
Yes.
Because when my mother-in-law came around, people did not know she was my mother. I always say, Mommy is around, Mommy is around. I said, Mommy is around. I said, yes, but that person knew me from childhood. She was like, Mommy. I said, no, my husband's mom. And I think, to God be the glory, because of the way in my own heart, when I wanted our relationship to be like Ruth and Naomi. But if it turns out the other way around, the fault shouldn't be from me.
Yes.
I don't want that fault to be from me. So I will do my best. But if my best is not good enough, then I leave the rest to God. And another thing you said, we need to be prayerful. You got to a point I started making a confession, like declaration. I love my mother-in-law. I love my husband does not know this. I was just, what can I do to help the situation? I love, when I'm pressed, I love her. Lord, I love her. I love her. I love her. And it's a matter of time. I started forgetting about the hurts of the past. I started forgetting about the pains of the past. Even if we don't talk, I bear no grudge with her, you understand? So it was hard initially, but like you said, you just have to grow out of it.
Yes.
And when I started praying, Lord, I love her, I love her. And I try to understand that she's not as spiritually inclined.
As you think. Okay.
Exactly. Yes. So even though she goes to church, there's a difference between knowing your God and just going to church. So I can't judge her on that. And I looked at that society, our environment, our own background as well. So I can see that, it's like, I've experienced this. I want to take it out on another person. But it shouldn't be the case. But we too, we should learn from this as well. That when that time comes and we are mothers-in-law, we don't want our daughters-in-law to go through the pain that we have experienced. Yes. We have to put a stop to it. This thing must not progress beyond this generation. We have to be determined that we want to be the change that people want to see. We want to be that mother in love.
Yes.
And the Lord will help us. Thank you, ma.
I also want to add this. You reminded me now when you mentioned it. We should know that whatever we sow now, we will reap it. The life itself is about sowing and reaping. So even if somebody is wicked to you, try and be nice. Try and be good, because you are sowing seed. If you say somebody is wicked and you tend to be wicked, you are sowing wickedness, you will reap wickedness. And it won't be our portion. And I also want to say that determination, you mentioned it just now, and it made me to remember that story in WhatsApp, a wedding night. They just got married, and you know what is expected on a wedding night. And the mother-in-law came in and said, I don't know if anyone ever told you, there's a curse on my husband's family line. The men in their family don't prosper, number one. Two, their wives are the ones who work and provide for the families. On a wedding night, from a mother-in-law to a daughter-in-law and the husband. And the reasons the woman gave, one of their forefathers killed somebody's son, Abali's son somewhere, and he has caused the family. Please listen to the woman's response. That is the bride's response. Mom, she didn't say, my mother-in-law, listen. She said, Mom, I am sorry. I also did not tell you this before now. I came from a family that fights for those we love. My father, Jesus Christ, actually died while trying to save his people. My family line does not operate under curses because we are operating under a covenant of blessings. Therefore, anyone who is fortunate to marry anyone in my family becomes automatically blessed. So, Mom, for my sake, your son cannot operate under those curses again. She didn't abuse the woman. She didn't go angry. She also told the story of her own family. God gave her those utterances. And let's look at the results. They had 4 sons. None of them died. And those, his children, have sons and daughters. And I know the mother-in-law will now be so happy. God, I thank you. Somebody has broken this curse. We must be ready, even if there's a curse, we must be ready to break it through the help of God. And I know God will help us in Jesus' name. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maz. A lot of questions have been coming in directly. But firstly, I would also like to emphasize on the fact that on a particular point Mrs. Obadino made, which is the essence of us speaking up. We should not forget that this is an NGO, and why we're speaking up is because we don't want this cycle to continue, the cycle to continue. It is very important for us to know that, we have to do better. Our generation, we have to do better. Like, we are saying all of these things, not because we just want to state the obvious problems, but because we want to pick them as lessons and do better for our kids, our sons, our daughters. So it would be unproductive for us to have listened to all of this and then become a mother-in-law tomorrow, and then you're making things actually difficult too for your daughter-in-law. That's not the essence of this conversation. It's for us to learn and do better and ensure that, this doesn't keep going on. It doesn't become an issue we keep talking about. In our children, we talk about it. Our children's children, we talk about it. That's not what we want. It's for us to actually, like mommy said, spread love now to everybody around us. So by the time our children are grown, they see us as a perfect example in our homes. Like, my daddy's mommy lived with mommy now, and they were cool. So they go on with that mindset when they grow up that no, it's actually okay for us to have in-laws around that, that love us, and love is a thing in our relationship between, in-laws. So it's very important for us to know this. The first question I'll be reading for our guest is from someone who sent it directly. It's a very long one, so bear with us. I'll read everything first. So she said, I have not had a very warm reception with my in-law and sister-in-law. They have been so hostile no matter how I tried to be nice and go out of my way to be respectful. They all wanted to have a say in my home and dictate to my husband, but my husband really stood for me. My husband asked me to try to relate better with them, and I tried, but they never changed. When my mom-in-law comes, she does as if she doesn't see me and talks only to her son and gushes over my baby. I feel very bad in such situations. She acts like we are in a competition. Now we have moved far away, and I feel happy about it because I won't have anybody to hurt me again. So she now went ahead to say that even when we do a video call with her, she barely speaks to me and keeps on speaking to only her son and the baby. Before we moved, I called to check on her randomly too. She sent airtime and even gave her some. I sent airtime and even gave her some cash when she came to take care of my baby. No matter how I try to be nice, they seem to be bent on frustrating me. Only one of my sister-in-law is nice. Regardless, I don't pay them back in their own coin. So I think what she's asking is, despite everything she has done, she still feels hurt by the way they haven't accepted her. So what can she do? That's why she, said, she explained, that deep, because she wants to know that she has done everything she can possibly do as a daughter-in-law, but still she doesn't feel accepted. So what more can she do, or how does she handle such situation?
Yeah.
So, mommy, would love you to answer that question.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that question and the person that sent it. One thing I want her to know is that in any situation you find yourself, bring out the best from it. I don't know how it escaped my mind. Had put it down as part of what I want to say, that because some of us don't want to see our in-laws that are giving us problem, we pack to a far place. It's a dangerous game. It's a dangerous game. Pray that nothing happens to that man. You won't like yourself. It's a dangerous game. Don't run away from anybody. Take charge of the situation. It might be tough now. There's an adage that says, when a masquerade is pursuing you, don't worry, keep on running. As you are getting tired, the masquerade is getting tired. They are growing, you are growing. One day, it's not easy. I'm happy that she said only one person. And you know what the word of God says about one person? One is a majority. Always look at the best of that situation. That only one, good, keep on. One thing is sure, they will never stop you from relating to your husband. They won't stop you from what you are doing. They can only hurt you. And those things you think they are doing to hurt you, turn it around to make yourself happy. It's difficult, I told you, but I'm saying that when you make up your mind, when you are determined to be happy, you know it's only you that can make yourself happy. No other person, not even your husband. Your husband can make you sad. Your children can make you sad. Your mom, your dad, whoever can make you sad. But only you and your God can make yourself happy. That can make you happy. So make yourself happy. Maybe when they come, they don't see you. Oh, fine, mommy, I know you are so busy. I know you are looking for your son. Don't worry. Honey, mommy is here. She knows she's already getting out of the way. You are getting in. Honey, mommy is here, and you leave them. Don't insist staying with them to hear what they want to say. You don't need that. Make the best of the situation. Make jokes out of the difficult things they say. And if possible, keep quiet as much as possible. But don't run away. I will not support that. Don't run away. If you run away, there's a lot that can happen, which may not be from them. And then the next thing will be, oh yeah, what happened? How did you do it? Oh yeah, explain. No, you don't need it. If they are talking to their son, do you know what they are saying? So you don't have to run away. The Lord will bless you. You will also have testimony. One day you will also come around to say, as mother-in-law, then you'll be able to educate others. Don't run away. My submission. Thank you. Hello. Sister Kami, do you hear me?
Hello, ma. Yes, hello. I was clicking on the wrong button. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you, ma. I mean, I think what you said was good. And in addition to what mommy said, you can't please everybody.
You can't.
You can't be everybody's friend. In fact, that is even dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
That is dangerous. But you said something which I really appreciate, that at least one out of all of them.
Yes.
Just hold on to that one. And I pray that God will help you to preserve that relationship with that one person. And that person will be the voice for you. Like mommy said, you don't need to know what they are talking about.
You don't need it.
I've gone through that even when you want to talk to them, they don't want to talk to you. So what can you do? As long as I'm not fighting, I'm not quarreling with them, I'm not cursing them, whatever they want to say is none of my business.
Yes.
They've got right to their privacy.
Mm-hmm.
And they are greeting the little baby. Fine, if the baby can talk to them, let them talk to the baby. At least they still give you the opportunity to say hello. What if they don't even say hello to you at all?
Okay.
What can you do?
Yeah.
At least, like you said, you've tried your best.
Mm-hmm.
Just be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on being good to them. You can't repay, I always say something, you can't, you rather be proactive than be reactional.
Mm-hmm.
What they are looking for may be a reaction from you.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to react because your reaction may be negative and it will spoil all the good you've been doing. You have your husband on your side. Stick with your husband. Don't even ask, what did you and mama talk about it? Don't worry. If he wants you to know, he will tell you. And if he doesn't tell you, fine. It's less trouble. I always say it, if you don't tell me something, you're even taking the burden off my shoulder. Because when you tell me, I want to think about it. I want to think of how to help or be an assist or be of assistance to you. But if you don't tell me, I don't know. And I'm not guilty because I don't know. And even if you tell me, you give me half information, good luck to you. So I think mommy said, oh, you running away. I've actually attempted that. I wanted to pack my bag and my baby and leave the house for my mother-in-law and my father-in-law. That, okay, stay with your son. Let me just, the Lord just, why would you leave? It's your home.
Mm-hmm.
Like mommy said, we pray for long life, but we can't live together forever.
Mm-hmm.
They came into your home one day, a day will come that they will leave.
Mm-hmm.
I cried and I gained strength. I summoned courage, and I just let go of that plan that I had at the back of my mind. And since that day, I never even thought of quitting or doing anything, because I know quitters don't win.
Yes.
And it's not about win-win. It's not about someone losing. Or you are not in competition. You are not on the in the ring. You are not fighting any boxing. It's a relationship. A relationship can be strained before it gets better. And at times it will first be good and it will become sour later. You don't want that for yourself. So now that it's a bit strained, maybe it's a bit sour, just keep looking into the future. The Bible says, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Start thinking about when that joy will come. Stop, like I said, I keep prophesying, I keep declaring, I love my mother-in-law, I love this. I call them by their names, I love them. Even though they don't talk to me, I love you. You understand? And it's like a seed. As I keep on declaring, I love you, I pray for your health, I pray for good. And you understand, the Bible says we should seek after the good of Jerusalem. I know the Bible, I don't know other religions. I don't know what they will say in their own religion, but I can only speak for the faith that I understand. Now you pray for the peace of Jerusalem. So if you are throwing stones at me, you are shooting arrows at me, and I'm praying for you. What does the Bible say? Whoever blesses us will be blessed, and those that curses us, they will be cursed. You are not cursing anybody. You are only doing what is right. It may be painful because you want them to be your friend. You want to have a rapport with them. Don't worry. You've tried your best. Leave it at that, so that you don't injure yourself. And you should make sure that you are not holding them in your heart. Please. Free your mind, be yourself, and life continues. You don't want to be a pretender. Otherwise, it will be pretense because they don't want to talk to you. So why do you want to force things?
Okay, thank you so much, Mar. I'm still in Lagos traffic. My network is messing up. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Yes,
I
okay.
can hear you.
So I lost some of the questions because my network restarted, but I will just paraphrase the ones I can remember. Please drop them again. If you dropped questions before, drop them again, please. I apologize. But I remember one that I can paraphrase. The person asked that how far can we confide in our mother-in-law? I think the person even dropped it openly. How well can we confide in our mother-in-law, especially person asked from the perspective of what Mrs. Obadino talked about, the third party perspective, that you don't bring in everybody and all of that. So she was like, so how far then do we confide in our mother-in-law? So I think the question was actually for Mrs. Obadino.
All right, thank you. Confiding in people is about knowing who you want to confide in.
Yes.
If your mother-in-law is the person, that kind of a person, that kind of personality, that God has given the wisdom, the knowledge, and the solution to the issue that you want to discuss with her, you want to confide with, why not? I mean, personally, I don't see any difference between my mother-in-law and my mother. I shouldn't treat them differently. Unless I would say in law, you say this person is, Nigeria will say guilty until proven innocent. But in this part of the world, you are innocent until proven guilty. And that's the same way I see my mother-in-law in any other relationship. You are innocent until you prove me otherwise, that you are not innocent or you are not that kind of a person. She might be the third party, but if that's the person that I feel that I can tell about this situation, it all depends on that kind of situation. I don't delight in telling people about what is happening in my family between me and my husband, or we have this issue, or we have this. It's not my style. But if you have to speak to my mother-in-law, why not? If she is that person, because even your mother may not be able to handle the information you want to give to her. We need to know who we want to divulge the information to. We need to understand the person. So it's not just about in-law. I want to move away because about in-laws. Is that person matured enough to handle the information you want to give to her? Will that person use the information against you in the future? Will that person be sentimental? Because it all depends on what information you want to share, on what you want to confide in your mother-in-law. But mothers-in-law, they can be good confidants because they've seen it all. If that person presents herself to be like that person, they've seen it all. They've gone through what you want to discuss with them. So you can confide in her if she deserves your confidence. Because I don't think it's automatic. It's discretionary. And I pray that God helps you. It is discretionary. The same way you will say things to your mother and it will backfire. You can say things to your mother-in-law and it will backfire. And your mother-in-law may be the best person that will hold that secret, that will keep that information safely for you, and will give you that wise counsel. So we need to know who we are dealing with. It's not about the title or the position. It's who is that person. I'm not sure if I've answered your question or you still want maybe more clarity. Or mommy wants to say something.
Thank you. I think you have said it all. One thing about divulging information or secrets to people is that if I tell you one thing today and I see the way you reacted or what I later find out about what I did, if it is on the negative side, you won't hear another one. It's as simple as that, because at times you may not really be able to predict people. You may not be able to say, no, this person can keep secret. At the same time, you can't say she cannot. But if you go ahead to discuss an issue and the thing, boomerang, or you later discover how the whole thing was spread and you don't really like it, it's another one the person will not hear. But, like I said, this third party we are talking about, some people, when their heart is heavy, they want to talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it may not be 100%, but no mother-in-law will want to spoil or go against the son or the daughter-in-law if there is love. I know of a couple, when they were to wed, they agreed that when we get married, your parents become my parents become your parents. And it's working for them. Everything the mother-in-law now needs is the daughter-in-law that takes care. The same way for the other side. Like you said, the moment we still keep on this idea of mother-in-law, 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 we may not be thinking straight. They are our mothers in their own by the virtue of coming to that family. So let us apply love. But if whatever you say, go the other way around, then that person cannot hear another one. That's my submission.
I think another angle to that is, you can even say that thing without linking it to yourself and see how she handles the information, like mommy said.
Mm-hmm.
That my friend said this, mommy, what do you think? My friend, and I just need to talk to someone because when she said this, it's so heavy. I think I need someone of your caliber to, and just test her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think mothers-in-law too, they will test their daughters-in-law before they are settled with them. And I think I just believe it's every relationship. You just have to spend time to understudy and test. Even God tests us, that. Yes. Jesus was tempted. He went through a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Every great man, every great woman out there, they've gone through a lot of tests. Yes. So we need to test before we get so comfortable with people. We need to test how far we can relax, how far we can say things to. I've known Sister Debbie for how many years now? I know the things I can say to her, that I know that information will be there. You understand? And we may not talk for 3 years, but it doesn't change her person to me because I know her. We've gone, we've said it, some things, we've gone through some things together. So you need to know the person that you want to talk to. You don't talk to strangers. And a stranger doesn't mean someone you are just meeting for the first time. A stranger can be someone that you don't know, even though you've known the person 20 years. But as far as you don't know certain aspects of that person, he's still a stranger in that regard. So it's just understanding the type of information, how sensitive, and we take it from there.
Hello. Welcome, Omotola.
Thank you. You're welcome. God bless you too.
You're welcome. We appreciate your question.
I mean, do we have any other question or any contribution?
I think
Because I think we have
Lagos traffic.
Yeah.
Hello, Sister Debbie. Yeah.
What's the somewhere there?
Oh. Or maybe if people can type directly, you can send the question directly till she gets the network again. What do you say about caring for your mother-in-law? Sister Kemi?
Ma, you have to care for your, is it for me? Okay. Yes, you have to care for your mother-in-law as if she's your biological mother. The reason being that since she married you married her son, she's kind of adopted you, and she's expecting that kind of treatment, care, love, from you. And if you know that your mother too, if you're not an only child, your mother too, maybe you have a brother, you have a sister. How do you want your mother to be treated by that daughter-in-law, by that person? Like mommy said, whatever we sow, we reap. If you care for her, you will enjoy it. You will reap that care. It may not even come from her directly. She may not be that kind towards you, but rest assured that you are sowing a seed. And it's a matter of time you will reap that harvest of care when it's your own turn to. It may not even be you may start reaping even before you start having daughters-in-law, or sons-in-law. We have to care for our mothers-in-law. We have to look after them. Because they too, they are skeptical, They are, how will I say it? They too, they are on that edge. The same way we feel, that's the same way they feel towards us, because they don't know us, we don't know them.
Nice.
They are missing that boy, that young boy that became a man, is fully grown now. Oh, now saw this beautiful lady and said, I want to spend the rest of my life with that. They are anxious. Let me use that word. They're anxious because they don't know what's going to happen. And I think that is one of the main, the foundation of the trouble we always have with them. When you don't care for them, and your mother comes, I think I said it the other time, your own mother is around, start running up and down. Mommy, do you want this? Mommy, you go down, and your mother-in-law is there. She is also a human being.
Yes.
And if we reverse the situation that if I were to be treated like that, how would I feel?
Sure.
So I will not say stay, or even if the mother-in-law is I don't know. I've not come across, I don't know what definition or how to describe, but you still have to care for that person. Because you want your prayer to be direct. And you want your husband to continue to love you too. But when your husband says that you don't care for his mother, you don't love his mother, men, it's foundational. They won't be happy towards you. There's nothing they can do. They can't, because of that, throw you out. And some can, depending on how strong the bond is between the mother and the husband and your husband. But I think you should care for them. Love them, care for them, protect them the way you would do to your own mother.
Yes.
And leave the rest to God.
Can you please, thank you very much, Ma. Can I just ask if you can give examples, like practical examples of what amounts to care? I know we do not natural things for our mother-in-laws, but sometimes, we do natural things for our mothers, but sometimes for our mother-in-laws, we think, oh, am I overstepping my boundaries, or am I doing too much? And again, based on generational gaps, in our mother's generation, they would see washing clothes for our mother-in-laws as care. But in our own generation, would say, we don't know if washing clothes, those are the kind of practical examples I would like you to please share with us. How do you define care really that we can give to our mother-in-laws? Thank you.
Okay, I will pick it from the example you shared, that's washing clothes. I have washing machine at home, but when my mother-in-law came around, she doesn't wash her own dishes in the washing machine. And I helped her. I mean, you say yeah, I did it for her. Because I would do it for my mom. If she came around and she didn't like her things to be washed in the washing machine, I would wash them with my hand. You understand? So caring for them is going that extra mile, the extra mile that you go for your mom. We are not the same generation. We don't have the same interests, but we can ask them, Mom, I'm going to the spa. Would you like to come with me? She may say, oh, what is that? Because I like I said, I always trivialize certain things with my mother-in-law. I said, Mommy, you are old school. In your days, you didn't even know what that is. And she said, you are very correct. You understand? But you can educate her, Mom. Yeah, I know you didn't do this in your age, but this is what is in vogue now. Would you like to come out with us and things like that? And maybe she's not, you see that someone that is very chatty, but today she woke up, good morning, good morning. She didn't, the way that we breathe, that we oriki and all those things, that's a different day. I think I will ask my mom, Mom, what is happening today? You're a bit quiet, what is going on? And likewise, if it's my mother, I think I should ask her if I truly care for her. That, I mean, something is wrong, Mommy, you are not this lively today. What is going on? And it's going to be very easy if you have cordial relationship with her. It may be difficult if you don't have that cordial relation. But if there is cordial relationship, it's about caring for her needs, her emotional needs at times. At times, they have burden. They have things they want to discuss. They have things they want to share. My father-in-law of blessed memory, he used to keep secret with me and say, come. And he will bring that, come, I want to play. I don't want Mommy to hear this. I want to talk to you. So they have a lot of needs that we need to help them to meet as well. Not going beyond our what will I say? Going beyond what we can afford or what we can manage. But if it's something within our reach, I think we need to do it for them. Their health, their appearance. Mommy, this your hair, I think is overdue. We need to take it out and do another one. Those are the things that we will do for our own mother. We are going to, for an outing, we want them to dress well. Mom, no, I don't like the way you, this Agada is, jokingly, you just warm them up and you just step in. You see that gap, you just step in because their daughter is not with them, mind you. The daughter is with you. You are the daughter because the daughter is with another man. She's married out into another family as well. So you are that daughter now that she's saying, or maybe she's relating to. So it all depends on how cordial your relationship is. Even if she's not living with you, over the phone, you can still tell someone you are very close and used to. When they are low, you can tell, Mom, what is happening? You're not sounding so lively. Are you laying down? You just have to, force some words out of their mouth. Their health, even issues with the extended family as well. It's how the two of you, how you relate that will help you to really care for them. But we hold them that duty, regardless of how nasty or how gracious they are. We owe them that duty.
Thank you, Sister Kemi.
Thank you.
I also want to say that I want to tell us two stories. Moses was alone listening to the Israelites, judging, referring cases to where he was doing it all alone. But when the father-in-law came, this thing you are doing, you will enjoy yourself.
Mm.
And he gave him a good idea. And Moses bought the idea. And it was okay for him. So it's not only even women, it's not daughter-in-law alone. Even our men. The Bible says you will live and cleave to your wife. Emotionally, you have to be detached from your parents, but not to neglect them.
Mm-hmm.
So the father-in-law helped him out. That's Moses. And another one, I read it on WhatsApp also. The lady came back from work and the husband just said, Mama is sick. That was all she had. And the man said they were to visit the woman. She didn't know whether it's the mother-in-law or her own mother. And they set out and the man said, let's get some things for mommy. When they buy this, it's okay. When they buy this, it's okay. Mama can't take off. Mama this and that. And as they were going, the woman discovered later that it was her own mother. And she now said, no, we need to get more of those things. We need, so if it had been your mother-in-law, those ones are okay. Let's care for them, like Sister Kemi said, as if they are our mother. The day you join that family, she has become your mother, you have become her daughter. Just put in your best. To the glory of God, like I said, my mother-in-law was with us shortly when we got married, till she became aged. And now she poo-poo on the bed. Then I sought out from one nurse around me. What do you do when an elderly person poo-poo or wee on the bed? Say, there's what do they call this thing now? That they use for Pampers for adults. I said, sure. And she told me. And I told my husband, we started buying it. They taught me how to change it. Very early in the morning, I will do that before I go to work. And I will still feed her. And by the time I come back, I will do the same thing. I will bath for her. We carry her. She was over 80 when she died, if not 90 something. So you can imagine, we carry her, and I find it so easy to do because I was not seeing it from the angle of mother-in-law. The moment we still apply this in-law with him, we may not be able to carry out our good responsibilities. See them as your mother, see them as your father, see them as your brothers and sisters, and go on, do the right thing. It's a seed you are sowing, and you will surely reap it. So care for them to the best of your knowledge. Don't go beyond your limits. To the best of your knowledge. And the Lord will help us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I apologize, the network. It just got back. So, can you hear me?
I really pity you.
We're in Lagos traffic.
I'm sure Sister Kemi will be saying, wow.
What's the meaning of all of that? She's in London now. She's in
I
the
know, I
UK.
thought you would be saying, wow.
She doesn't understand all of this.
I'm
This is our regular.
you.
I concur, don't worry.
So yes, let me ask this question someone sent to me privately. She said her mother-in-law came for omugo, like taking care of the child, 3 different times. Everything went smoothly. The wife believed. All the while, the sister-in-law has been acting out, reason best known to her. At a family meeting, the sister-in-law said to the wife that I don't like the way you've been treating my mom. The wife was shocked and asked how. She said, whenever my mom comes to your house to help you take care of your babies, she comes back with a lot of complaint. The wife then faces a mother-in-law to ask that, Mom, what exactly did I do wrong? It might have been an oversight, and I didn't realize it got you upset. But the mother-in-law refused to talk and said nothing. So
I can relate to that, ma. That's why I said,
the way mommy said, so be it.
I can relate to that. The reason why I said, I think I had similar experience, but in my own case, it was actually my husband that confronted the mother. Not directly, I think spoke to the sisters. That when mommy came around to do Omugo, that she was making my wife's life difficult. And when everything, I was like, did I complain? I was saying, yeah, you won't talk, you won't say anything, but I was seeing how she was treating you, how she was doing this. I said, but fine. Thank God, that's over. But in this case now, that the mama refuses to say something, it's questionable. She's asked her, Mommy, what did I do? It may be an oversight. I think she should leave it with the husband to deal with.
Sure.
Because if she continues, then she may even implicate herself in trying to explain things. Or is it this, or is it that? It may even be things the mama did not even see or even notice. She will not be the one to even open the can of worms, you understand? So I think she should leave it with the husband to be her voice. That my wife said this, let the husband deal with it with his mother and the sisters. And if they refuse to say the exact thing that she's done, that's made the mama to be uncomfortable or in any way she stepped on her toes, she's not in control of that. Because if somebody says to me, oh, you did something wrong, what did I do wrong? Because I may not know. But if you refuse to tell me, then good luck to you. I may ask you the second time, that the last time you said is you've not actually told me what offense I committed or what I did wrong or what upset you. But if that person did not say anything, I don't think I should carry that burden.
She's saying that her husband refused. Sorry, she's saying that her husband refused to talk about it. Her husband refused to talk about it or try to interfere. Yes.
So does that mean that they've spoken to the husband and is indifferent or is taking side? Or
I'm guessing that this happened openly. Like maybe the husband was there when she asked mommy this, and the husband just refused to, jump at it.
Yeah, I would say she shouldn't push the husband. If the husband witnessed it and is not saying anything, I would think I will let it rest. Personally, I will let it rest. I will let it rest. Because if the husband wasn't there, then I would have gone to my husband that this evening, this thing happened. Please, can you help me ask mommy? Or maybe your sister, maybe they will talk to you. Because I asked them, they didn't say anything to me. But you witnessed it. No discussion. It's not that he didn't believe their story. Side. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he was there at the meeting, but he didn't say anything because he doesn't want to take sides.
It's in a precarious position. You understand? Yeah. It's very. She can only pray for wisdom for him. Divine wisdom. That even when he wants to maybe react to whatever they've said to him, if we apply wisdom, it won't appear to be taking sides with him. And it won't appear to be taking side with the family as well. And that is one thing personally I like to guard against, because it's like you are making life miserable for this man if this thing is happening. How does he handle it if God has not given him the wisdom? how does he handle it that to you, the wife, oh, you are taking side with your family. To the wife, oh, she has just the man. I think the man is more vulnerable here, not even the lady, the wife. The husband is more vulnerable because it's a state of indecision. What do I do, left or right? So she shouldn't compound the situation by pulling him or forcing words out of his mouth. If he's not saying anything, she should just be careful, mind herself until everything is resolved. She should just mind herself. Or maybe she can reflect on incidents that happened where the mother was around, that she did not really, pay so much attention to, but now in reflection, oh, maybe could it, but she shouldn't kill herself for it. She shouldn't damage herself. So she should just free herself and be mindful that even mommy may not say anything, I think she may be sensitive. Some people are sensitive, but they won't talk, and you think everything is going down well with them. She should hold her peace. That is what I would do. I will hold my peace and watch.
Okay, yeah, right. Is there, I missed, yeah, she said she's holding her peace tightly. Okay.
Sorry.
Is there anyone, because I
Mr.
missed
Deborah.
some few seconds here.
Hello.
Ma,
Another thing she can do.
I'm with you, ma.
Yes, I agree with Sister
Okay,
Kemi. Let her hold her peace, but let her talk to her God.
Yeah.
God still speaks. God still speaks. And I'm a testimony. So please, let her talk to God, because I know she's really bothered. She wouldn't have been bothered if the husband was not there. The thing became a problem now because the husband was there. Whether the husband wants to take side or not, he should give an inkling to the wife. But he is not ready. So let her talk to her God. I don't get this thing. And Mama seems to be angry. What was the problem? How do I go about it? God still speaks. But like my sister said, hold your peace. Thank you.
Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. Is there anyone who is still? Okay, someone just sent in a message. What do you do when your mother-in-law suddenly changed towards you 2 weeks to your wedding? She said that her son will no longer marry you. She refused to say what the problem is. Her son pleaded to her to know the issue, but she refused to speak. During the wedding, we brought gifts to her, etc. And the wife called her, but she didn't pick her calls. But her father-in-law loves her so much. What will I do? Because my husband said I should stay on my own. What will I do now? I really love her, but it's a situation where her husband says, stay on your own lane. She doesn't love you. Don't bother. Don't force the relationship. But she is saying, I want a relationship with my mother-in-law. So how does she go about this?
Is it that are they married now, or they're about?
Yes, ma, they are married now. They are married now, but before everything was fine, but 2 weeks to our wedding, our mother-in-law just changed towards her. Yes. And it has lingered till now. They are married now, and she's still not forthcoming. And her husband says, just stay on your lane. You don't have to have any relationship with my mother. Just stay. So she's asking, I want this relationship. What can I do? Her father-in-law loves her, but her mother-in-law doesn't love her, and she doesn't want to have anything to do with her. So she's asking that, what can she do?
Can I say
Mom, why?
something? What can she do? You can't force yourself on somebody.
Simple.
You just have to,
Exactly.
you've accepted as your mother-in-law. And you said your father-in-law loves you to bits. So you still have a shoulder to lean on that side. And your husband is telling you that, I know it's difficult not to have a relationship with your mother-in-law. It's very difficult because she's like the bridge to the rest of the family.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult. But you're already married. You are in it already. So what can you do? You can only pray and hope. But when God will minister to her, that God will touch her heart, whatever it is that she saw or she heard or that she perceived that made her to change towards you, it might be something that can be rectified. And it can be something that maybe both of you just have to put up with it. We don't know, and you don't know. So you don't want to put yourself in that confused state. But you just have to know that you have to mind yourself around her because she's made it clear. But you have to be kind to her. So maybe she'll have a change of mind. We don't know. But it's beyond you. So just let it rest. Because you don't want to start suggesting things that are not even real.
Okay,
if you overthink it, you may come to a negative conclusion. No.
The matter will surely solve itself later. So like Sister Kenny said, and your husband told you to let it be addressed, let it be addressed. If you are not married, it's a different thing. One would have suggested, well, let it be solved before marrying the man. But you are married, you are in it already. Let your mind be at peace. When it is time, she will surely tell you. And if she is not telling you anything, let your mind be at rest. Don't imagine what it could be. It may not be it.
Exactly.
Okay, ma, because of the questions we're still getting, our answers, so we won't stay too long. It's already almost 9. Someone just said, in Africa, wives are going through a lot on all fronts. How can one cope with being seen and treated as second class in the name of culture while handling life issues? A sweet friend's marriage recently crashed because of in-laws. Nothing she did pleased them. They just wanted to be calling the shots. So for wives who are tired of trying, how do they handle that stigma of you are just a wife and a small girl? That's one question. The second question is, for sister-in-laws, please, what exactly is their place in marriage? Some are actually more demanding than mother-in-laws. Must one actually have a relationship with their in-laws? Is it a must? So then 2 questions in one, ma'am. To you, ma'am.
I will speak on the second one. I will start from the second one, the last. We can say yes, we should have relationship with them, but you can't force relationship. That is me. You cannot force relationship. If you want to have a relationship with them and they are putting you off, what can you do? You stay put. So long you are not bearing grudge with them, you are not keeping malice, your mind is free. It's a matter of time. They will be tired. They will be tired, particularly when they start seeing results, good results. Yeah, maybe that can make them to have a change of heart. And the other question that African wives is like this, even in your own household, how do they see women? So it's not from the in-laws. It starts from our own immediate families. When we are having the family meeting, how are the men shutting you up? How are they giving you voice? So it's not because you are married to someone. This problem is foundational. And it's only the grace of God that will help us. And that is why we have to be the change. We on this platform, by the time we start showing that and letting people know that women are not second class. Not that we are competing with our men. We respect that, we honor them. We are not on the same at the same level, But we are to be heard. We are to be seen as well. But how we handle it matters. So it's not about power tussle here. It's about recognizing our strengths as well. It's about recognizing our place in the society. So it's not going to end with your family, I'm afraid. It didn't start with them and it's not going to end with them. It's everywhere. Even the Caucasian is the same thing. We think people in the Western world, the whites, they are not going through the same. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just that they are more advanced and they have moved forward. But it's the same feeling. And it's not only on the family, in the family, at the family level, even in the place of work, men are better paid. They get promoted quicker than the women. So let us not kill ourselves or make ourselves even feel worse on top of what we are currently experiencing by breaking it all because I'm a woman, because I'm African, or I'm a wife. No, it's just how it is. And we can only hope for the better. Mommy.
No, you're okay. So that we can pick other questions. That's just the solution to the 2 questions. It's everywhere. And that's why I said zero our mind to this in-law people. It's everywhere. And even in our own family, if we look inwards, we will see something like that. And if it is not there, well, fine, congrats. But then just relax. Take things easy and take it lightly. Don't let it be too burdensome on you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mas. It's very important what Mommy and Mrs. Sabadina said, is that we should try as much as possible to just, let things, relax and be taken care of. It's very important, because this issue of self-care is actually the solution to most of our problems as women. When you start looking inward and prioritizing yourself, if you feel like eating a particular meal, eat it. If you feel like buying a clothes, buy a clothes. Because when you are less frustrated with what is happening around you, you can easily tolerate those in your surrounding. You'll be able to tolerate even to your children. If you are frustrated, you are stressed with everything you are doing at home. If a child just does a little thing, you will just scream at the child and shout at the child. It's not because of what the child just did, but because you are not relaxed yourself.
Transferred aggression.
Transferred aggression. Yeah, so this is the thing. So if we as women try as much as possible to get our hands off work at times and just relax. If you need to take a break, take a break. It's very important. Take a break.
Yeah, number one.
It's very important. This is as simple as this is the solution to most of our problems as women, because we are all about, see everything I'm doing. After everything, your mother will now come and do this and do that. This, please, so let us stay in our lane. No, this, that. But if you are getting enough, if you're getting enough care and you are in the right frame of mind for yourself, the problem is not actually the mother-in-law. Of course, yes, maybe the mother-in-law is doing a bit here and there. But if you are in the frame, you'll be able to judge things better and react in a much more saner way than just snapping at everything that happens. So
I think I'd like to add to what you just said. Okay, she's still talking.
Important that we take care of ourselves as women, of being a mother, being a wife. Yes. Okay, you wanted to say something, Mom?
Yes, I think we should learn to forbear, forbearance. Forbearance. This thing will happen again. It's going to happen. So just have your own coping mechanism. And well-being is very important, like Sister Debbie said. Look after yourself. You are number one. It is when you're in the right frame of mind that you can even look at that you can take care of other things. But if you're not in the right frame of mind, if you don't have your own self-worth, then people are not going to treat you better. Don't look down on yourself. Don't treat yourself less.
Yes. Yes.
Pamper yourself if you have to pamper yourself. Close your eyes to certain things. It's not everything we must see. It's not everything we must talk about. You see things, you just keep quiet about it. And I think with that mental state, we'll be able to manage other things that are coming our ways. But if we have, they'll just say, oh, this woman is frustrated. We don't want to be frustrated. We don't want the names that they are calling, some of the names. We don't want to actually tell them, yeah, that is why I am. No. When someone is throwing axes and arrows at you, and you're just, it's either you're just, blocking it off, or you're just smiling, the person is, they will be tired. Oh, they don't see me, they don't recognize me. Yeah, I've felt like that in the past, but I can't be bothered anymore. I respect myself. I look after myself. I care for myself. And I stand in front of the mirror. I say to myself, oh, you are wonderfully and fearfully made in the image of God. God loves me. Everybody cannot love me. Everybody cannot like me. And if they say they love me, do they like me? Because love is what God expects us. Oh, love one another. Love your brother as yourself. God did not say like everything about that person. So I owe you love because you are my sister. God made you. But I don't have to like the things you do. So there's a difference. But we always mix everything up. Oh, they don't love me. They don't like me. No, which one? They may not be greeting you, but they don't want evil to befall you. They may not be talking to you, but they don't want your marriage to crash. You understand? So there's a difference. But we just mix everything up and our expectations are too high. Why do you expect too much? When you disappoint yourself, we set goals, we set objectives. Do we meet everything? Are you being truthful to yourself all the time? So why are you expecting somebody external to do more? I think we should help ourselves. We should heal and not expect the healing from externally. We should heal inwardly. And draw strength from within instead of looking for that strength externally, because it may not come. I mean, it's easy to say, yes, it's easy to say that, actually do it, but you need to force yourself. You need to keep on practicing it. It's going to work.
Yeah. Okay, 2 more questions before we go, please. For women who haven't met their mother-in-laws yet, those that are, soon to be married, one is asking that what advice can be given to them, do's and don'ts, before going into start on the right, right lane. Yeah.
Okay. Mommy, I know you have something to say, but go with an open heart. Go with an open heart. Prepare your mind that this woman I'm going to meet, this family I'm going to meet, they are lovely people, they are wonderful people. They are going to accept me as their own daughter. They are going to be my friend. So if you program your mind, it's about mind renewal. If you renew your mind and you remove all these stories, all these things we talked about today, and go with that mindset that, what, this is my family. This is another family that is coming, that I'm going to move with. I'm going to be with all the days of my life. I'm going to have peace, joy. Just see it happening. Visualize it. That will help you. Even when someone is making their eyes like this, because you've gone there with that kind of mindset, you won't see that person that is blinking the ears. You just think maybe something went into the eye. You won't pay so much attention because it's like going to this party that girls night out. How excited you will be, the kind of fun you want to have there. So if you go with that kind of mindset, that, I'm going to, these wonderful people, this, great family, I think it will help. Because they don't know you don't know them, but you need to prepare yourself. So go with that positive mindset, and it will be positive for you.
Thank you very much, Sister Kemi. Another thing I would add is that ladies should not pretend.
Mm-hmm.
Many girls pretend too much. I thank God for my daughter-in-laws. I never had such a person. But from experiences and those who come one time or the other to seek counsel, I discovered that because of their mindset, be good to your mother-in-law. Once she accepts you, the family will accept you. Even what they cannot take, they pretend to take it as at that time. And that is
Yes,
why as
ma'am.
they now enter, they come back to their real self. It's a dangerous game. Don't pretend, be yourself. While I was still in the service, 2 students came to my office and I was busy doing something. And I just had, I will not marry a man who has a mother. I just had that statement, but I kept on with what I was doing. And when they were to go, I now refer to it. I said, I heard what you said. Why did you say it? Said, mother-in-laws, they said they are difficult. They are terrible. Secondary school. Secondary school. So I now said, come. That means when your son is to marry, you won't be alive. I said, mommy, no, I will be alive. You are somebody's mother, and that person you said should not be alive. Mindset. Be of good, positive mindset. Be it at the back of your mind. Let it be at the back of your mind that this, my mother-in-law, is my mother. If you don't have that mindset, if you go with what people are saying, just like everything we have been talking about since morning, since we started this program, it is majority of the problems people are facing is hearsay. My mother-in-law is this, my mother-in-law is that. If other mother-in-laws are bad, make up your mind that yours will be good. And don't pretend. I always emphasize that. Don't pretend. If she tells you something and you feel it's not okay by you, mommy, but don't you think, see the way Ruth presented her situation. Humility, grace, season your words with salt. We'll see that you will have a good mother-in-law. So yet to be wise, there is no problem. Come and join us. Come and join us. It's good. Get married, be friendly to everyone, and God will help you. Thank you.
Yes, so I would ask the two, another question just came in. I'm sorry. So I will ask the 2 last questions at once, so we don't take any more questions.
Yeah.
The first one is, what do I do to in-laws that insult me and use foul languages? That's one. Number 2 is, I think this second one just came in as mommy was talking now when you said they should not they should question with grace and humility. The person said, interpreting everything I say, even when I say it with so much grace and humility. So those are the 2 questions. So should I repeat them?
Please do.
The first one is asking that she's saying our in-laws insult her. They use bad words
Languages, okay.
on her. Yes. So should she continue accepting that, or she should speak up? That's one. The second one is saying she was asking, the question came after you talked about, questioning with humility. If you feel different about what your mother-in-law is saying, you can say, mommy, what do you think about this and that? She says she has tried implementing that, speaking with grace and humility, but it's still interpreted. Everything she says is interpreted the wrong way. Yes,
ma'am. To such a sister, I will start from the second one. Please talk less. If she's misinterpreting what you are saying, you can't convince such a person. You see, like I said, there are some difficult people. Whatever you do, they are set for the opposite. Talk less, do your best. And I think life goes on. Make yourself happy. Oh, you did this. No, ma, I did not do it. I say you did it. You do it. Then you keep quiet. No, you talk to me harshly. No, ma, I didn't talk to you harshly. I said you did. And the person continued. You keep quiet. There are some people you can't convince them. You keep quiet and get going. And don't be rude to them. And the first question, sorry, I've forgotten the first question. If
You are calling
Okay,
her
ma'am,
name.
the first question is about
Oh,
insults.
yes.
Insults.
Yeah.
Yes.
please
Bad
let your
names.
husband know about it. Let your husband know about it. There are certain things you can't fight it all alone. Because if you reply him or her back, you get more. But let your husband know about it. Then you will now look at your husband's side to such a rude person. That will help you to take a decision. But it's not something one can say, do this or do that without your husband knowing. Your husband must know about it. It will help you in taking a decision. Some people are just spoiled. They are just spoiled brats. Even if you are not married to that home, if you look at the age, you may be older than that person. But I think Sister Kemi once mentioned it while she was talking. Some people just want to prove themselves that they are around. They want you to know that, come, I'm your sister-in-law or I'm your brother-in-law. And they want you to know it. Such a person, if your husband, your husband's decision will take, a long way in you taking a decision too. Thank you. Sister Kemi, what do you say to that?
Yes, I agree with you, ma. And the Bible said it all, that he who keeps, he who wants to live long will keep his mouth.
Yes.
So say less, be quick to hear, be slow to speak, and be slow to act.
Yeah.
In trying to clarify points, you can compound issues. So let your words be few. If this person you've been chatting, reduce it. I mean, there is a word, a phrase I always use. I didn't even know that I've said it so much that my father-in-law said, I know if it's, all she will tell you is, it is well.
It is well, yes.
It is well. Not that I don't have something to say. But when I said it is well, did I curse you? No. No, it is well. Because I want to go and think about my response if I have to respond. And I may not even respond at all. But I won't just ignore you. Oh, it is well, sir. That's all you want to say. It is well, Daddy. It is well. God will give you your own words too, if you are told you have to say anything. But let your word be filled. Not even to the in-laws, even your own family. There are things you say that will bounce back later, and it will affect you and your husband. So let your words be filled. And to the one that, they are cursing, they are being nasty to, if you can ignore, just ignore. If you can walk away, Jesus said, when they slap you on the right cheek, turn the left. He didn't say turn the left as in literally turning the left cheek. By the time you turn the left cheek, what are you doing? You are moving away. We should learn how to de-escalate and not escalate issues. I mean, when something is already going bad. So you talking back, or you calling them names. Do you know how strong they are in that business? Maybe you are just learning. You don't need it. Mommy has said it. Let your husband be aware. Let your husband be your voice. That's one thing I've learned. Let your husband be your voice. He knows them. He grew up with them. He knows how to fix it. Pray for wisdom for him, but let him be your voice.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Someone is raising up her hand. Should we take it? I would have to. Okay.
It's okay if mommy is happy.
Mommy, are you okay to take the person raising up her hand?
I'm okay.
Iyanu Loluwa Kolawole, please unmute and speak.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ma. Just a quick question whilst mommy was talking. I would like to ask, how do you relate with a mother-in-law that you try as much as possible to call every time, and she never calls back to say, or maybe even when she missed your call, you are still the one that will say, I've called, ma. You missed the call. You're still the one that will still call back again. Or maybe you even send gifts. She will not call to say thank you. Or she would rather call the son to say thank your wife. Whereas you have the
Mm.
wife number to say thank you. Not call her to say,
That's a common problem.
Different strokes for different people.
Yeah.
Mama may not be, or mommy may not be the calling type, or may not be the type that appreciation. Take her for whom she is and get along, go along with your life. But please don't stop.
Yeah.
Don't stop. One day you will be surprised, especially wives are many in the family. One day, don't be surprised. She say, I trust her. She will be the only one to call me. Even though she has not been responding to your calls, she has not been saying thank you for your gift. But don't be surprised. One day she will vouch for you and say, this girl has not called me in the last 2 or 3 days. What happened? And then you'll be wondering, me? But she doesn't respond to my call. Don't worry, keep on calling her and keep on showing love.
Mhm.
That's my submission. Yes, my sister, do you want to add anything?
No, mommy, you said it all. I mean, you may reduce the frequency if you've been calling her every week, maybe every 2 weeks, so that, and you don't. I think when you started talking, the Yanulu started talking, what just came to my mind was the sense of entitlement.
Mm.
You're calling her, she doesn't have to. I mean, courtesy, you say, oh, she should call back at least, acknowledge. If she doesn't do it, don't even feel you are entitled to it. Keep doing what you are doing, like mommy said. You may reduce the frequency so that you don't feel overladen. So just do it as you would normally do. We have some friends as well that they don't call, and they'll be the one to even accuse that I've not heard from you in the last 3 months. Yeah, they don't call, and even when you call, they'll say, long time. So we are all different. We're all different. And if when they are calling, it's your husband they are calling, they are sending a message. I said something in there, let your husband be the voice. Let our husband, let them be our voices. So if they are calling your husband, maybe something has happened in the past and they are trying to avoid a repeat. That I don't want to talk to the wife directly. But I want to, if I have to talk to her, let it be when her husband is there. Okay. So it won't be, oh, mommy said this or she said this. You have a witness. So I think I'm more comfortable like that. It's not as if she's not talking to me. But when she wants to talk to me, I'm in that situation. If I call, they won't pick my call. But they will call back 3 times. They will call my husband's phone. Oh, I saw Kemi's missed call. And I said, okay. And I got the message. And I stopped calling them. So I will only greet them or talk to them when they call my husband or when my husband calls them. And no trouble. We are at peace.
And an experience just came to me now. When I present something directly as gift to my mother-in-law, she takes it. She says, thank you, but not as I expected. And I studied the situation when the son gives her, So I now decided to go through my husband. So even when I'm giving it directly, I said, your son said I should give you. Oh my God, the prayers. The Lord will bless him. The Lord will do this. The Lord, and I said, 2 will become 1. We are 1. She's secretly praying for me. That's how I overcame that problem. So I don't feel like my sister has said, maybe you will call when your husband when your husband is around, so that whatever you say, he will hear you out. But don't stop, please. To me, it's no problem. Hello, mommy, how are you, ma? Just keep on. You are checking on her. It's a seed. Don't be surprised by the time you become mother-in-law. and your daughter-in-law will always shower you with calls. You have done the same. So don't stop. Don't stop. Thank you.
Wow.
Mommy, I have a question for you.
Okay, ma.
I am privy to a case whereby the husband forbids the wife from talking to the mother. That don't pick her calls if she calls you, and you must not call her. How will she deal with this kind of situation? Because it's new to me.
Can she go to her?
No, the person is here. The mama is in Nigeria.
Okay. Don't call.
And this she's actually escalated it. Yeah.
She should ask the husband for the reasons.
And she said the mama is she's not good. She's she's diabolic. She doesn't love her. She's only pretending to.
No, I will not agree to that. But I will call when the man is around. You can't keep the woman away. Though the son will know the mother best.
Yeah.
But I tell you, when they will solve their problem, the wife will suffer for it. So if she's diabolical and she's still there, if she's a witch or whatever, and the son is still alive, if she's this, she's that, everything is still in order, it's not me they will use to settle it now. So the lady should just try her best. It could be once a month. The husband will be there. Mama, hello, ma, how are you, ma? That's all. And then, you see, one thing I know very well, the power of prayers is important in a woman's life. I don't know about men, but I know it's important for them too. For women, when it comes to prayer, many things are revealed to you. And at a stage, they will take you as a witch. Because God will reveal to you. And the solution will come. But for you to neglect his mother based on what he said, no. I will not support that, because there may be many reasons. It's just like a man coming to say, my mother is a witch, don't take my children to them, don't go there. We are just deceiving ourselves. If it is true there are witches, they don't need to see you before they attack you. They don't need to take your permission before you see them. So be prayerful and then do your best. But for her not to call the mother-in-law, no, she should pray about it and then discuss with the husband very well. I don't know if I've answered your question, but she shouldn't neglect the woman. The table will turn around one day, and then they will say, hey, there's an adage in Yoruba, if you teach somebody to be wicked, that person has that trait to be wicked. If you teach somebody how to be wicked and she carries it out, she has the tendency to be wicked. So if your husband says, don't greet my mother, don't call my mother, before you don't want to call her. So she should really pray hard about it, and God will show her what to do. But she shouldn't neglect the woman.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Because I was away for a while, I would love to ask which participant was actually the most interactive, because I was away for a short while. So I wouldn't know, and I don't want to judge by the messages. And most people are talking to me directly, very direct message. You're not talking openly for everyone to see. So by your judgments, man, who do you think was because I knew the questions kept going on when I was away, so who do you think was the most interactive?
I don't understand. Is the question for us or for?
Yes, for us.
Yes, so for everybody.
We have all been interacting now.
One person has to win, though.
At least Iyanolua asked a question, I've seen some comments from Fola Koti Zala as well.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think
I
there
didn't
was
see
another
that.
person that sent Save Our Full question, but the person I can't see the name now. Maybe.
Oh, she left. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess she left.
Shomoye, yes.
Omotolani. But some people also ask
Yeah.
questions we may not see here.
With them exactly, because the questions were just coming, you know.
Yes,
But I
you have
think
the
everybody.
questions. Few.
Yes. For me, the person that was most interactive with me was Oluwatobi Loba Owams. Please, can you unmute your mic? I need to know who the person is. Can you say
Uh-huh.
something? Oluwatobi Loba
Hello, it's
Owams.
me.
Owams. Okay. Okay. Can we meet you, ma?
Okay.
Um.
It could be
Okay, she's not
network.
saying anything. Oh, she's still
It could
here.
be
We just
network.
okay. It could be network.
It could
All
be
right.
network.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
It could be
all
network.
right.
So that's why the judgment may be difficult.
May be difficult to make.
Because some are really
Yes.
sending tests to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please, I'm not
Yes.
picking up. I'm not this. I'm not that. Many are interested. Network problem.
Yeah. We
So,
actually have a book up for grabs. That's why I'm trying to judge by the most interactive person on the platform today. But since my network was a bit
yes,
messy, it
network.
has put me in a
Like
very
on my
difficult
phone now,
place.
I could see Fola Kotizala. I could see Tokalonge Tijani.
Yeah.
So others might
Okay.
also be there.
Then
but-
Fumi Owolabi as well. Omotolani Victoria.
Okay. Okay, someone said Motolani Shomoye was the most interactive. So since somebody sent me this directly to my message, I would go with this independent judgment that she was the most. So the book goes to Motolani Shomoye, but then I would, if you can chat me up, two people, two Curtis Allah and Oluwa Tobiloba Owams.
Okay.
If you can chat me up on my WhatsApp number 0811 536 0070. You just want an airtime to yourself for participating. So, but Motolani Shomoye should contact me, or I would ask for our details for our book. And yes, we bring this session to a close. Thank you so much.
Before we close, we want to appreciate Sister Deborah too.
Yes.
Thank you for the good work. The Lord will help you.
Amen.
We uphold you. As you have been trying to make sure homes are peaceful and settled, your home will know no sorrow in Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Thank you so much,
so much,
Sister
Mommy,
Debbie.
for the prayers. Thank you
Sister
so much. I
Kemi,
appreciate
I appreciate you too.
Thank you, ma.
Thank
God,
you.
thank you so much. God bless you too, ma. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
And before Mommy leaves, I would actually want to celebrate Mommy because our daughter-in-law recommended Mommy. It takes a lot for a daughter-in-law to recommend a mother-in-law.
Thank you so much.
In-law to be fit for the role. It takes a narrative for doing what you do, for taking this, for taking your son's wives as your daughters, and for what you do. We hope that this becomes normal. It becomes the norm across homes, and we raise sons and daughters who will, reciprocate this and be an example, a true example of what we represent in their generation. Thank you so much, Mommy.
Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless.
Ma.
Thank you.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Are you home now?
Just 2 minutes to getting home. I'm not home yet, yeah, but 2 minutes to getting home. We're out of the traffic. Thank you so much, Mommy.
Thank you. Welcome.
God bless. Thanks to everyone that tuned in. Thank you so much for believing in us and for your impact and your inputs and everything you are doing to ensure that we're not speaking to ourselves, we're speaking to people. We appreciate everyone for coming, and we hope that you follow us on Instagram at Perfecting Womanhood, so that when we have similar programs coming up, you know, we can always reach out to you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. We do not take
Thank you.
it for granted. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
sister.
you.
Thank
Have
you,
a
ma.
good, yeah. Thank you so much, Mrs. Obadino. We appreciate you too. God bless you, ma.
Amen. Bye.
Have a good night's
Bye.
rest, everyone. Bye.
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 Bye.